I'm on codeine, and Dylan Cease has thrown the second no-hitter in Padres franchise history. I'm back from the dental chair. We did the reverse jinx last night and said, has anything big ever happened when one of us misses a show? Well, how about a no-hitter? Dylan Cease talks his way back onto the mound after 7 innings. Mike Shildt said, congratulations, good game. Look at that graphic. Wow. Very high tech.
It's not
Dylan
really.
Cease, I like it. Leave it up. Has thrown a no-hitter. We will be with you for the next hour, reacting in real time. John and Jim coming up at 3 p.m. I'm not going to be on the show. I have like sutures in my mouth. Look at this grocery list, Jim. I've got a grocery list of what I can eat over the next month. And Dylan Cease has thrown a no-hitter. So subscribe. Year-round content for you. We're here for you, even off dental surgery. The Padres have won 5 straight. They sweep the regular season series from the Washington Nationals incredibly. They win all 6 games. Smash the like button. We need 500 likes on this thing between now and 24 hours from now, if not more. Got to subscribe. We got to get to 6,600 subscribers today with your help. So subscribe if you're here live or on replay. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. And what a day, Jim. You kind of had a sense of it because he was overpowering people early. You get the Bogarts bobble that Merrill makes the play on. You get the Bogarts bobble that he recovers on in the 8th inning. Dylan Cease stays out there, and he's been brilliant recently and throws a no-hitter. Unbelievable.
Here's his last 3 starts. 7-13 versus Atlanta, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts. 7-20 versus Cleveland, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 10 strikeouts. Today, no hitter, 9 strikeouts.
Amazing.
He's been unbelievable. He was my pick for most important Padre in the second half, just because with the uncertainty of Joe and you don't know what's going to happen at the deadline, you needed Dylan Cease to be that ace. You have some uncertainty with King and Waldron going forward because this is the most innings they've ever pitched in the big leagues. But Dylan Cease is a consistent 180 innings guy. Like, he's going to give you innings every single year. He's done it before, and he is the most well-groomed pitcher of the 3 that I mentioned there. So he needed to be better. He needs to be a lot better. His first half wasn't great. He had a good first month and a half, and then he fell off a cliff, and he had a really bad lead up to the All-Star break. Take away that one start, I think, right before the All-Star break, you're like, that needs to be Dylan Cease. And oh boy, has it ever, because he has been amazing. Today, you're right, John. You knew when his slider is on, it's like, okay, that's unhittable. It's an unhittable pitch.
And his 100, I mean, he's throwing 100 like in the 7th inning, right? He was throwing routinely
slider,
100.
Just 100 slider. I mean, you couldn't hit, literally couldn't get a hit off him. So,
I mean,
incredible.
Listen to this real quick to your point, and I'm with you. I think Cease at times this year wasn't the pitcher Padres fans thought they were getting because he was allowing a lot of home runs, remember? Even with this filthy stuff, like you said, fastball, slider combination, he throws 100. His last 3 outings have been amazing. Jeff Passan tweeted this out 2 minutes ago. Despite everything, because there have been highs and lows, a bit of a roller coaster, opponents are hitting 191 off Dylan Cease this year. 191.
Yeah.
And the slash line, listen to this, is 191, 255, 341. So whatever that is OPS against, it's under 600. So, and Cease has turned into a guy, and we can't look too far ahead. And what's more important is what lies ahead, not today. When you think about it in the grand scheme, like, you need to keep him healthy. But Jim is a game 1 guy, and that's where they hope to get. I mean, that's what they're going to treat this trade deadline as if they need to get to the postseason, and they're 5 games over, and they've won 5 straight. As a game 1 guy, you're taking him over most pitchers in baseball. Maybe not every, but most. I mean, he at his best, he's a top 2, 3, 4 pitcher in the game. We've seen it over the last 3 games. So that's what you're banking on. Get there, have Dylan Cease healthy, rested, and ready. And I'm telling you right now, I'm taking my chances with Dylan Cease against anyone the way he's pitching right now.
Yeah, this is the guy they traded for. This is the guy that I was so excited about when they traded for him. Like, the second that they pulled off that deal in spring training, I thought to myself, they just acquired a number 1, and they probably acquired the best pitcher on the staff. That's just how I felt about it. Because his stuff is At his best, it's better than Yu Darvish, and it's better than Joe Musgrove. It's better than Michael King. It's better than Matt Waldron. Like, he has the best stuff on the team. He has the best pitch on the team, which is that slider in the rotation. So when they acquired him, you're thinking to yourself, this is the ace. This is the guy that is going to replace the Cy Young Award winner from last year. And that's amazing because you don't often really replace Cy Young Award winners with like Cy Young Award winners, like stuff wise. And that's exactly what they did today, or they did this season. They traded for him. They replaced Blake with not a better version of Blake Snell, but I mean, you could argue like his stuff is up there with Blake Snell's, and
Completely.
he has proven this year at times when he's unhittable. And today,
How many innings is he up to for the season? Because to your point, he might not finish the season with identical numbers to Blake Snell, but he'll give you the innings. If he stays healthy, he'll probably surpass Snell's innings, which
he's
is
at 100,
impressive. How many innings is he thrown?
131.
131. There's 50-something games left. He'll make 11 more starts. 11 times 6 is, he could throw 200 innings, Jim, in the regular season, which is more than Blake Snell threw last year. And he threw 180, which was impressive by Snell's standards. But Dylan Cease is going to give you more innings if he stays healthy than Blake Snell, who won the Cy Young last year.
And by the way, there was this, he has a walk problem. He's just like the right-handed pitcher version of Blake Snell. This year, his whip's under 1. So
yeah, he doesn't have a walk. How many walks has he issued in those 131 innings?
40.
That's perfect. Under 3 walks per every 9 innings with a high strikeout total is perfect.
But last year, his whip was 1.42. He had 79 walks in 177 innings.
But here's what people forget.
I know.
He was on a bad team.
He was on a very bad team.
Sometimes when you're in a bad team, you don't pitch to your capability. We're all human beings. Maybe you have a good 5-start stretch, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're 20 games under 500, and you don't go about it as if you're on a team that's heading for the postseason. So I can justify some of last year. This is the pitcher they traded for, Jim. They're getting everything that they asked for. I think the overall numbers are where they need to be, and they're trending upwards. You're right. He hasn't been perfect. There have been ups and downs. There were stretches in there, 4 or 5 weeks where he didn't look like an ace. But right now, late July, during this critical road trip with the trade deadline coming up, you're 5-1 on the trip. You're going to Baltimore. The Orioles have been up and down here recently. Even getting a game in Baltimore, you're 6-3. You get 2, you're 7-2. If you get 2 games in Baltimore, you have a 7-2 trip in front of the trade deadline. That's simply incredible. I was worried about Dylan Cease's pitch count, but what was it in the end? 115 neighborhood? What was the total number?
The total number, John, was 114 pitches. That is a very economical, perfect 9 innings for you. I don't feel like this was like a super taxing outing. I know he had 3 walks in the game, and the runner did get to second base.
Wow.
But for me, today was just like the perfect case scenario for a no-hitter. It wasn't 135 pitches. It wasn't like a crazy number like that. 114, you can deal with that. Corbin Carroll. Patrick Corbin, sorry, had 109 pitches today, and he only pitched 6 innings?
I think he went 7.
7. Okay, so like 114, that's great. That is a perfect number, not taxing at all. And you have an off day here coming up, I believe on Monday before the trade deadline, and you don't have, you have a lot of things you can do here, and you're going to get another pitcher in here soon, so maybe you push him back 1 start just to give him a little extra rest, but I don't know, or keep him on regular rest. But yeah, today was, perfect. And once you get to the 7th, John, you're working on pure adrenaline anyway.
Well, they wanted to go to the bullpen, and I understand it because they're thinking the long game. And at the end of the day, would you rather have him throw no hitter, or would you rather have him pitching effectively in September and October? I think most people would probably take the latter, but if you can get both, even better. I would have been worried if this thing got over 120 in an effort to get him to throw a no hitter. You start getting into a little bit of uncharted territory in today's baseball when you're in that 120s. You get into the 130s, you've got problems, and that can be a problem potentially moving forward for Dylan Cease. But 114, the way he's throwing the baseball right now, like you said, going off adrenaline. What also was a factor is he warmed up in this game, didn't appear, and there was a 90-minute rain delay.
Yep.
So they warmed him up as if the game was going to start at noon Eastern. He didn't pitch until after 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So that was an interesting caveat as well. Patrick Corbin started the game, sat for 90 minutes, and then went 7 innings. But it's amazing how certain things just come together, like this came together here today for the Padres. Again, 90-minute rain delay. We said yesterday, jump on them early. They've got no shot in hell. That's exactly what happened. A 3-run first.
Yep,
they quit. They didn't quit, but I mean, the Padres just leaned on the Nationals all season long and sweep the Nats in DC. That was hard to envision really coming in to this road trip. Let's get to some of these super chats, guys. If you're here, please subscribe. We have year-round content for Padres fans. We're with you live here after Dylan Cease has thrown a no-hitter, just the second in franchise history, the first since Joe Musgrove in Texas. Both no-nos coming on the road for the Padres in the history of the franchise. Thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. We need 500 likes on this video. We got to get to 6,600 subscribers as well, so please subscribe, and let's start it with SJL Stevens. By the way, I've tingly feeling going on right now. My
are you going to survive?
We'll see. Yes, I will, because I'm on adrenaline as well. SGL Stevens, thank you, ma'am. He says, let's go. Thanks for dong they'd. Does it say thanks for dong they'd?
I think he said thanks for doing this.
Okay, but thanks for dong they'd as well.
Thanks for dong ding.
Yeah, by the way, we're doing this for the next hour, and then Jim will have you on John and Jim. You'll hear from Mike Schildt. You'll hear from Dylan Cease from 3 to 6 on San Diego Sports 760. Will, thank you, my friend. Thank you for the super and the membership. He says, WTF just happened. I'm so happy for Cease. By the way, remember, Cease's other no-hit bid that went to the 9th inning was broken up by his current teammate, Luis Arias, with 2 outs in the 9th inning when he was with the White Sox. This, by the way, could have been broken up by a former Padre in C.J. Abrams, who batted with 2 outs in the 9th inning. The Padres' second no-hitter, I kept waiting for that first hit, but it never came. Boy, does this feel good. Thanks for coming online, John and Jim. I mean, how cool is this for Padres fans, Jim, to get 2 of these over the last handful of years, kind of since the pandemic? They're so completely unpredictable, and they've gotten 2 here in the last 4 years after none for basically 60 years.
Yeah, it kind of one of those things when the floodgates open up, it just all happens, right? And truthfully, before Joe, I think a lot of Padres fans would have just taken anybody. Just get this over with, just get a no-hitter. And there's been a lot of no-name guys. One that comes to the top of my head is Odrisamer Despaigne. I remember one year, Jordan Lyles, right? You're like, what? Yep. And to have Joe do it first, it was perfect, and it wasn't a combined no-hitter. It was a clean no-hitter. And by who did it first, it was perfect. I mean, I remember we had a wrap-up show that night. We were on the air. We did. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. And I feel the same way for Dylan Cease. He's not no random no-name. I mean, this guy's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's when he is pitching like this, you're talking about Cy Youngs, So nothing against anybody else, but you get the 2 no-hitters in your franchise history. I mean, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch in a rotation. Those aren't no names. Those are all-stars. Those are guys that, you could put at the front of your rotation. One of them's can win a Cy Young. Joe, the San Diegan, it just all is perfect when it comes to when you talk about no-hitters now with the Padres franchise. And maybe and I'm sure in the future, some random no-name will get a no-hitter, right? And then in 50 years, people will be talking about, Cease, Musgrove, and who's that? Oh, yeah, the other guy, random guy that had a random no-hitter, but that year he had a 5.2 ERA or something.
Well, to your point, remember when the Padres were no-hit by the Diamondbacks in 2021 by Tyler Gilbert? It was his first career major league start. The Diamondbacks got a no-hitter from a guy making his first career major league start.
Never heard of him again.
And you never hear from him again. I much prefer what the Padres have done here. I'm with you. Joe Musgrove being the San Diegan and Dylan Cease, you got him through 2025. I mean, I can't even look past 2025. But at his age, he's someone you want around. At his age, and I don't know if that's possible or not, he's something you want around at the front of your rotation. He's not 38. He's got a lot of baseball in front of him. He's pitching as well as he has maybe at any point in his career, just like 2022. And he's thrown a no-hitter for the Padres, the first of his career. 619 Cam, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you guys. Please subscribe. And thank you for the supers. Click the $ below the chat box. We appreciate your support. He says, happy for Cease. And if Merrill hit for the cycle the other day, how incredible would that have been? Thanks for doing this show, LFGSD. The play Merrill made, let's talk about that for a moment.
That was a huge play.
In the 5th inning, I thought Bogarts got completely turned around. This is a play that should have been made. I think most people, if you watch that live, thought that play should have been made by Xander Bogarts. And he turned and he backpedaled and he had a ball go in and out of his glove, which means you should make the play. And he lost it. And it was out of his glove. He had no chance to recover on it. And Merrill was Johnny on the spot. The perfect spot to make the catch. And in that moment, I didn't text you then. I thought about it in the second. I was driving back from the dentist. I thought about it in the second inning when he's overpowering people. I'm like, off the rain delay against this beat up Nats team, this could be the day. But once that play was made, everyone's thinking the same thing. You need a play like that to throw a no-hitter. And then the Bogarts play, by the way, in the 8th inning, Jim, if he doesn't make that play, it'll be ruled a hit. And here's why. He dove for it.
Yep.
He dove for the ball to his left on the grass. It's outside the realm of routine. Nobody would have liked it. And again, a play that he probably should have made. He made the play, then lost the handle, had the fortitude, the thought to then recover and throw. The runner, whomever it was in the 8th inning, was slow, and it gave him time to make that play. So Bogarts went from goat to hero, Jim, 2 times in this game defensively. That's incredible.
Yeah, the presence of mind to be there.
Yes.
And to have the quick reflexes to catch that ball. And then, yes, you're right. In the 9th,
Is that the 9th or the 8th, the slide?
Ooh, you're right. I think
no, it was the 8th. I think
the
it was the 8th. Second out of the 8th. Because the 9th was
clean.
Clean.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right.
Second out of the 8th.
Yeah, that was huge. Those were the 2 plays defensively that you look at, because every no-hitters or perfect games, it's not a lot of perfect games, but any no-hitters or perfect games, there's always seemingly one great defensive play. I wouldn't consider those amazing defensive plays, but they were key defensive plays.
I mean, the reason the 5th inning was amazing was how often do you ever see it?
So you think that would have been ruled a hit if you dropped it?
Which one? 8th or the 5th?
The 5th.
See, that's a great question. Yes, I do. I do think I'd need to see it again. Jim. I'm hopped up on drugs, but I'm pretty sure because of I don't know. I'm pretty sure the one in the 8th would have been a hit. Do you agree with that?
I think the 8th would have been a hit. Yes. And that would have been a very tough call for the scorekeeper because he did bobble it. Now he did dive, but he bobbled it.
I think by gloving the ball with a dive, you basically have gone beyond a routine play. So that alone made it beyond routine. I think it would have been a hit. We would have fought it till we're blue in the face.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point in the 5th. It may have been a Bogarts error. I don't know though, dude. I don't think in real time that would have been an error. They would have said he's back. I don't know. I really don't know. But how many times have you ever seen, Jim, watching baseball, a ball gloved by someone and then deflected to someone else? I've seen that 2 times.
Let me answer that. Not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it. Maybe
count on one hand. For sure. Can I just say this too? The Nationals should be absolutely embarrassed by how things went down this season versus the Padres. They got their shit kicked in at every single instance. Every single game, it was the Padres are our daddy, and it wasn't even close. There was not even a close game in there, I want to say. I mean, you could, if you want to count today, a close game, but it didn't feel like it. 3-0.
Well, was there not a walk off or something at home? You tell me. I don't remember. Was there not a walk off at home?
There was a walk off.
There was Profar's walk off. That was a close game.
Okay. My point is the series wasn't close.
Yep.
With a walk off in there, wasn't even close. The Nationals, for all their shit they did and talked after Profar celebrated, they should feel embarrassed by putting up the fight that they did against the Padres for the 4 consecutive games following that. Good on the Padres for finishing business, for taking care of business, and for not letting the Nationals think anything other than, oh, we fucked up. Because I don't know how the rest of the season series would have panned out if they didn't start shit after Profar celebrated the next day. But I can tell you for sure it helped a little bit with the Padres saying, okay, yeah, we're not going to let our foot off the gas pedal here with you guys. And you just look at the quote that Merrill said yesterday. They can tell you they're all over it. I don't think so. I think this was a clear, like, yeah, those guys think that we're going in there and we're going to shut them up again.
I agree with you. I mean, I said yesterday, and I'd say it again today, if the tables were turned and the Nats were 6-0 against the Padres and the Padres were 0-6 against the Nats, guess who's the buyer and guess who's the seller? Correct. It's completely changed the fortunes of these two seasons for these two teams. Let's get back to the supers, guys. Please subscribe. And thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. Dylan Cease has thrown a no-hitter. The Padres have won 5 straight. They go 6-0 against the Nats in 2024. Nick has the headline, if this is what would have happened. He says, bungling Bogarts boosts Cease's no-no. Or I guess boost, yeah. It was weird. Headline? I mean, it was headlines on San Diego Sports 760. I mean, it was weird. Bogarts, by the way, had another base hit here today, another single.
15 singles, baby. Let's go.
And the only run-scoring hit in the game was a Hassan Kim 3-2, 2-out single that scored 3 runs in the first inning off a rain delay. Moises, thank you. He says, this team is streaky, win 5, lose 5. Don't matter. Today we celebrate a frickin' no-hitter. Thanks, John and Jim, for the emergency wrap-up show. We do it for you guys. We wouldn't be doing this if not for our loyal community and viewers and listeners and people that watch and consume John and Jim as well. I have a brand new Discord server for you, by the way, that Jim's even a part of, although he's only been in there like one time. And I have the link pinned at the top of the live chat right now. If you want to join our Discord server, we're talking Padres 24/7, 365, or click the link in the description down below. Let's get back to the conversation, Jim, in a moment. But we do want to thank our title sponsor here on the wrap-up show, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. We can't do this without your support. Everyone here every day live or on replay. And without the support of Mark Nimitz, I might need dental insurance after today. I've had gum surgery, but Mark does everything, I think, but dental surgery or dental insurance. I've got homeowners, life insurance, and earthquake insurance through Mark. If you call him, he's going to take care of you. He's going to save you $750 or more. And he's a great insurance agent. You can take it from us if you ever need him. Like I had to file a claim in 2022. He saved us so much time, so much money. Click the link in the description down below. Get free quotes online. Call Mark. He'll talk to you about the Padres. We'll talk to you about saving money as well. He does auto. He does home. He does renters. He does life. He does so much for our community. So if you have any need, before you renew your policy, if you're looking for information on a new policy, get in contact with Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Click the link in the description down below, and he's the title sponsor of the wrap-up show.
Yeah, all the information is in the ticker below, mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you. Oof, man, what a day. Dude, it's so funny. I mean, I'm going to go back and clip last night.
Clip that.
We spent 5 minutes talking about, dude, nothing
ever happens when we take a day off.
What's the
but this actually worked out to the advantage. Like this was the reverse jinx to a T. Like we said nothing will happen, and we might have basically spurred on a no-hitter because we said nothing ever happens.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome, Dylan.
Now, technically, we are still doing something together today. Like this game didn't happen.
Just play this back from 3 to 4.
Well, I cuss a lot in here.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But still, it's just funny how things work sometimes. I mean, the day that you miss work, they have a no-hitter, but it doesn't feel like it because we are doing something right now. So yeah. Anyway.
I mean, Kristen would kill me. I would consider even going in, but I'm like tingly and I'm on codeine.
Don't worry about it, dude.
I think I can car off the highway.
I think I can handle 3 hours and 12 segments of.
You can be able to take it away from J. Riff and Fletch and take that baton and keep running with it.
Of Dylan Cease no hitter talk. Yeah, I can do that.
Harv, thank you for hanging out in the UK, presumably with this super chat, guys. Please subscribe. We are here for you. Year-round content for Padres fans, the home of real Padres talk. Thank you for the super chats. Great way to support the channel. Click the $ below the chat box. He says, "Hope we don't tank like we did post Manny walk-off." Right? They had that 1-7 stretch off that Friday night walk-off for Manny, have completely rebounded now, Jim, to win 5 straight. How do you feel about the trustworthiness of this team right now, heading to Baltimore, playing some of their best baseball of the season over the last month? They've had the 12-3, and now they've had this 5-0 stretch.
I mean, you feel good, but it's just still the sentiment remains. I don't trust them until they get to a point of September 1st with 10 games over, or like 9 games over. I'll take it with 9 games over. But at this point in time, they're playing some of their best baseball. They are now 55-50, and they have a chance to have an amazing road trip going to Baltimore. Baltimore, by the way, is not playing like super great. I
No,
think
they're not.
I think they beat the Marlins today in extras.
Well, yeah, they did.
They
They
did.
blew a 6-0 lead and won it in the 10th.
Yeah. So they're not like streaking right now and hot,
Right.
but to your point, Harv, this team has the identity of playing baseball like this, where like they're never going to lose another baseball game ever again.
Yep.
To immediately going, we just lost 5 of 6. And you're like, what? So they're going to have to finish off this road trip playing good and come home and not trip over themselves after the deadline against a lot of bad baseball teams. I'm not going to say Pittsburgh's bad. They're actually very much in it. But you face the Marlins and the Rockies for a couple series, and you can't trip over yourself there. And then you get to the middle of August, and you actually do have a stretch that might be more important versus the Mets and the Cardinals, because those guys are right there in it in the wild card race. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of baseball left still to play. Okay, we got 50 plus games, and they're playing really good right now, setting up for hopefully a really good August and September. You just are worried about that eventual trip up, fall flat on their face, because they've done it too many times this year.
Listen to this from Sarah Langs, MLB, who's a great researcher. Dylan Cease has 6 outings of 6+ innings and 0 or 1 hits allowed this season. That's 2 more than anyone else in a season since at least 1901. He allowed 1 hit in each of the first 5, but none today. So he's had 6 outings this year of 0 or 1 hits allowed and gone 6+ innings. No pitcher in over 100 years has done that. No one's had more than 4 outings like that in a season. He's having a historically good year is the point. Now, there's been some blowups in there as well. But again, his ceiling is the highest in the sport, is what she's saying. And what we're saying, his ceiling is the best in the sport right now. And he's a San Diego Padre, and that's encouraging come postseason time if the Padres are in the postseason in 2024. Let's get back to some of these super chats. Wow. Over 200 of you are here live. We'll have many more watching on replay, obviously, since it's the middle of the day. Please subscribe, and thank you for the supers. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks. Carson says, how do you feel about announcers avoiding saying it? The no-hitter? I watched this whole thing on the couch. Did Orsillo not say it? I think he would say like he's walked 3.
He said it.
That's the way I would call a game. I know people tweet about it all day long, but I've learned better in the minor leagues. I would never reference it, but I know people do.
Don, what he does is Dylan, when the inning's over, he goes, Dylan Cease is not allowed to hit through 6 innings.
Yes, see, that's better because he didn't say he's working on a no-hitter.
Yeah.
They put it on the screen, though. They say 7 no-hit innings.
That's a baseball thing. And it's happened every single time a no-hitter's happened. And there's been no-hitters in baseball, so you can't say it's a jinx there.
Exactly.
So what Don does, I think, is good. And I think he started it like maybe after the 6th inning. Like once the 6th inning ended, he goes, Dylan Cease is not allowed to hit through 6 innings. You don't want to start saying it in like the 8th, like, you know, because then you're getting so close to it. And you're like, maybe I should have said it sooner. The 6th inning, I feel like, is good. It's like on the fringe of, okay, we should start watching this on television to it's still, you know what I mean? Like it's not super late in the game, but it's also not super early. It's like it's a good time.
I don't like seeing it after 5. I need 6.
I need
like
6.
5 is only 55% of a game. 6 is 66%. Yeah, you need 6. Murray, what's going on, man? We appreciate your support. Thank you for the super chat. He says, just
surprise
woke up. Are you kidding me? Cease. No, that's right. Because I think Murray sleeps in the mornings because of his work. And yes, a 9 a.m. start Pacific has resulted in the second no hitter in the history of the franchise. And it also coincides with like as good of a road trip as you can have. I mean, you can't play better than this. They're 5-1. They beat a really good team in the Guardians. They've beaten up on a really bad team in the Nats. And now they're going to Baltimore with all this momentum. Should be feeling good. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with Michael King, Jim. It sounded like he was going to get the extra day. So I don't know who's starting on Friday in Baltimore for the Padres. I think Michael King's going to start Saturday. I didn't read the article, but that's what it sounded like. So we'll worry about that in the hours ahead. But they've got momentum, is what they have, and they had momentum after the Manny walk-off to the super chat point earlier. But they have real momentum right here. Just keep going. I don't even know. Just keep this thing rolling. Keep this thing rolling for the next however long. Certainly through the trade deadline.
It's Schilt season.
Schilt season, dude.
Now,
Schilt season.
Now here's the thing. Did the Cardinals already? No, it's very early. Cardinals, do they play today? I don't think so. They don't. Okay, so Mets play later on against the Braves. There's no other team of significance that Padres care about. Arizona's not playing. Pittsburgh's off. Okay, so here's the thing. You've won 5 in a row. You're 5 games over. But everybody around you is also playing like really good baseball as well.
Right now they are.
Like the Mets had just come off a sweep of the Yankees. I think they just also they're playing Atlanta today. You have the Cardinals, they're doing okay at 5-5 in their last 10. Arizona's won 7 of 10. Pittsburgh's won 8 of 10. So like everybody around you is playing good. You would think after watching the start of this road trip, the first 6 games, or not start, but like you've watched this road trip and you go, all right, separation time. Not even really close to separation time because
but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because the teams can't. Yeah, you're staying in it, and teams aren't going to continue to play at this pace. You're not going to have 4 teams play at a really good clip. Presumably 1 or 2 or 3 of these teams is going to fall off. What is that, a dog?
Yeah.
Real quick. This from AJ Cassavell. Mike Schilt speaking with the media. Schilt, as we knew, was indeed planning to remove Dylan Cease from the game. Cease talked him out of it. Joe Musgrove chimed in the moment to say stuff's pretty good, Schilt recalled. And then Schilt said, well, he's thrown one. He knows. In addition to that, so that's kind of funny, Joe Musgrove assist, even though he hasn't pitched in 2 months. The other thing is that Dylan Cease has been staying in Joe Musgrove's guest house since April. And Joe Musgrove said postgame, the rent is going up, obviously facetiously. But Dylan Cease and Joe Musgrove have been rooming together for the last 3 months. And they are the only 2 to ever throw a no-hitter in the history of the franchise. How about that?
So I would have murdered Schilt if they took Dylan Cease out. Just let you know that right now.
And I wouldn't have.
I would have. 94 pitches through 7. Give me a break.
What if they still would have thrown a no-hitter?
What do you mean?
Like, Estrada went a hitless 8th and Suarez a hitless 9th.
I can tell you this. I wouldn't be down for a wrap-up show if they threw a combined no-hitter.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I think that
I agree with that. It's different. Like Marty has always said, there's a difference. And the no-no without a second pitcher is becoming like the dodo bird. It's a thing of the past. Yeah. How often are you getting no-hitters that are CGs, complete games?
Not like a lot.
What percent of no-hitters since 2020, Jim? Like this would be a good stat. What percent of no-nos since 2020 are combined? I bet it's more than 50% are combined.
The Braves just had one recently. The Dodgers had one in 2021, maybe.
Don't you think 50+% are combined over the last 5 years?
Probably. And you know what? Those to me, like they're just like
they're not as special.
They're not as special. I'm not gonna sit here and remember them. I'm not gonna like think about them much.
Yep.
These ones I will think about. Joe Musgrove no-hitter in Texas. You will always remember the Dylan Cease no-hitter in Washington. You will always remember. And the combined stuff, like, stop. I would have murdered Schilt. I would have been very upset because you got to just let him go, man. And I'm glad he left him in. I'm glad that someone stepped in and said, bro, no, you can't do this. You got to let him pitch. I don't know who it was that fully convinced him, but I'm glad that happened, because if this thing ended up being a no-hitter today, but it was a combined no-hitter and they pulled Cease after 94, or say this, they pulled Cease after 94 pitches, and say Adrian Morejon, who was warming up, goes in and gives a hit in his first at bat, dude, great, you won 3-0, but all people would be talking about today is, what the F was that?
So listen to this. Just hear me out. Since June 21st, 2021, I'm looking at how many no-hitters have been. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Half have been combined. Of the last like 15, 7 or 8 have been combined. So about 50% of the time you're getting guys going 9. About 50% of the time you're getting guys 2, 3, 4 pitchers working on a combined no-hitter. HBBBV, thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you're here, please subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans. We are here for you in season and out of season. Please subscribe, and thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. Padres shut out and no-hit the Nats 3-0 behind Dylan Cease. He says, going to run on the field next home game to celebrate. You should do that. You do that.
No, don't do that.
I'm not advocating for it, but let us know how it works out.
Yeah, don't do that.
Sergio, thank you for the super chat and the membership. He says, I can only cry hearing Orsillo's call, the emotion. There was a lot of emotion in there. I don't know exactly what it sounded like, Jim, because I was just like flustered in the moment. But a lot of excitement, a lot of celebration. Was it Bryce Johnson? It was Bryce Johnson at right.
The most casual, I thought it was a single or something.
Off the bat, I thought it might fall in, but he was positioned perfectly.
Yeah, it was a very nonchalant catch by him, which, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I can make that catch. But just even though if it's a can of corn, I'm like, holy shit. But I thought off the bat, I was like, oh no, it's in the corner.
I thought the same thing. I just thought it was calling kind of like a falling liner. It was going to fall in front of him.
Here's another little note here that I'll also talk about on John and Jim today. But mentioning Don's call and Jesse's call as well.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, let me remind you, they were not in Texas for Joe's no-hitter. They called the game at Petco Park because the Padres at that time wouldn't have the broadcast team travel because of the COVID restrictions still.
Yeah, that was like the teeth of the pandemic.
And so you had Don, Mud, Jesse, Tony. They were all in San Diego. They were all here. That's right. For the first no-hitter in franchise history. So for them now to call one and get one back live in person, how it, should be, and like everything's normal now, that's right there pretty damn cool. And good for them, because it had to have not felt right in 2021 calling that no-hitter for Joe, even though it was a historical moment and there were fans in the stands still. But for the announcers to not be there, like calling the game off of television, doesn't feel the same.
I agree completely. I mean, and now the next shoe to drop is throw one at home at some point.
Yeah.
It's and it will happen. It will happen. And you don't kick them out. When you throw them, whether it's in San Diego or Tijuana or Korea, right? You take them wherever they are. All right, let's tell you about our friends at Mova Globes while we have a moment. Guys, we've been telling you about this really cool company based here. This technology was invented actually in San Diego, Cardiff by the Sea. These globes that spin based on artificial and natural light. They're spinning all day long. They're officially licensed. Here's the Padres globe right here. Here's the Earth map globe that we've told you about as well. If you use promo code PWS10, you're going to get 10% off your order. Promo code PWS10. Click the link in the description down below. You can see some of the globes on screen right now as well. They're officially licensed. The technology invented right here, Cardiff by the Sea in San Diego. No cords, no batteries. It's all based on magnets and technology I don't understand, but they're really cool items. Great desk pieces, cool for friends, family, your home office, your office at work. Your kids will love them. My 5-year-old Jones loves them. My wife, Kristen, thinks it's spectacular. So if you've been thinking about picking one up, maybe today's the day. Off the no-no from Dylan Cease. the Padres officially licensed Mova Globe is available for you right now, and take 10% off right now with promo code PWS10.
These things are amazing. If you're a Padres fan watching us right now, if you want something for your desk at home, for your office at work, or for like a bookshelf, Mova Globes are the place, or is the thing to do and get. I was just thinking, make sure we can't have any music, John.
First of all, it's not my. How was I supposed to know that?
Well, it was. Who cares? But yeah, get a Mova Globe right now. Use our promo code, get 10% off, and put it in your house. Family will love it. Kids will love it. And yeah, it's great.
All right, so Dylan Cease has thrown a no-hitter. Padres blank the Nationals. They have just 3 games until the trade deadline. It's been very quiet, obviously, around baseball. In anticipation for this 2024 deadline, the Padres will be buyers, only bolstered by their play here recently. 5 consecutive wins. They surely need a starting pitcher. There's no question, even though their starting pitching, Jim, has been elite. Some of the best pitching in baseball right now has been the rotation of the Padres over the last week, but there is no question they do need starting pitching. And the question is, who do they add and how many pitchers do they add? But they'll absolutely add between now and July 30th. I don't think there's any question in the world or Earth 2.0 about it.
Sorry, what were you saying? I was reading something. My bad.
I said there's no question that they're going to be buyers, right?
Yes, they're going to be buyers for sure. 100%. And them playing this type of baseball leading up to the deadline makes it even more exciting if you're a Padres fan, because it's like you just have all this hope of, oh my God, they're playing really good baseball right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out and get another pitcher. You get reinforcements to come in here. It's just it's a good feeling for the franchise as well, and it's good feeling for the front office because there's no guessing here. There's no like, hey, what should we do? They are full steam ahead. They see that light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is we are bye. Like there is nothing here where they're like, oh, this and that, because they're playing good baseball. And I think they've done enough to prove that to the front office, like, hey, believe in us. So yeah, I can't wait to see who they get, and it's definitely gonna happen here soon because we are like what 4 days away.
Yeah, I think that's what is it, the 25th? I think 5 days away, 3 games away, and when they play those 3 games, they'll have played exactly 2/3 of their games for the season. So that'll be the 108 mark. I think that's right. Yeah, they'll have 54 games remaining. So I mean, we're not yet to the backstretch, but we're heading towards the backstretch. And you're right. I mean, they haven't run away from anyone in the wild card race, but they've absolutely stayed in it. You know, since the deadline, I looked last night because I was curious because the Padres had won 4 straight. I'm like, how are the Dodgers playing? And the Dodgers have played well. I think the Dodgers have the same record as the Padres since the deadline. Coming into today, they were 4-1. The Padres were 4-1 since the deadline. So the Padres are 7 games out in the division, which you don't need to worry about today. They will play twice next week here at Petco Park, and that's going to be quite the series, won't it? Padres and Dodgers. We don't get it as much with the universal schedule. You get just 13 games. They put a couple of games in Korea, so you're not seeing a lot of Padres Dodgers this year at Petco Park. We're getting that next week off this Orioles series. I think the Rockies are then here. I don't. You know, the other thing is that Tatis is coming back hopefully sooner rather than later. So all good is what I would say. At 55-50, yeah, you're the last wild card team right now. Yeah, you're only a half game clear of a playoff spot, but it's tough to complain about the way they're playing right now. You just don't want to see them revert. I've seen the roller coaster tweet from like Too Much Mortons. You go 7-1, you go 1-6. You go 5-0, you go 1-5. Hopefully that stops.
I had that tweet up since May 26th. Here's the stretch. 5-1, 0-5, 5-1, 0-5, 12-3, 1-7, 5-0.
Right. It's amazing.
So that right there. That's why I don't fully trust them yet. They got to cut that out.
What about the did you see the tweet from, I'm trying to go back now, this tweet from Heyman today? I think you're blocked by Heyman.
Probably.
That said Garrett Crochet, the plan with the White Sox is to pitch is to pitch his normal workload as a starter until the end of the regular season. If traded, would need an extension to pitch in October. He won't move to the bullpen and will not take any break. Views starter routine as best for health.
Okay.
So does that mean that basically there's less interest in him if he's not going to be pitching in the postseason this year? Isn't kind of that part of the point of acquiring him is to get his year and use that to your advantage in the postseason?
Bro, if that's the case, I'm not
Yeah.
trading for. I'm not. No. Red
Well,
flag. Red flag.
Flag.
Yeah. If you are demanding, hey, I'm not pitching in October unless I get a contract extension. Nope. Sorry. Not happening. I'm not doing it.
Does that? I don't think that takes him off the market, but maybe the team that trades for him, I guess, extends him out. That's a weird situation. I don't think that makes sense for the Padres. The more and more we play this out, the less and less sense it makes to me that he's going to end up with the Padres. And I don't think it's the end of the world because of those innings. I really don't. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think I'd like to see him in a Padres uniform in 25 and 26, but I don't think it's the end of the world.
And here's the thing, too. Over the last month, John, I know pitching is their need, but is frontline starting pitching their need, or is like a 4 or 5 starter more their need?
I think it's probably a 4 or 5 starter.
I agree with that because you got your ace in Dylan Cease. Michael King has been pitching fantastic, and Matt Waldron has been, over his last 11 starts, he's given you 6+ innings in 10 of them. Or is it 10? I forget, but I think I said it last night. I mean, you have a very legitimate 1-2-3. You do. Randy Vasquez is, can't forget about Randy Vasquez.
He's been good.
He's been very good and very solid. So we talk about pitching all the time as their need. But it's a difference of, do you need frontline starting pitching? Or do you just need arms to get you through the season?
Man, that's a good point. That's been my argument, right? It's like you're good in the postseason, but you got to get there. You're good.
Yes.
But in fact, Jim, I'm telling you right now, if the season ended, who's the third division leader right now? Who's the 3 seed?
Oh, Milwaukee.
If the season ended today, let's just fast forward, and the Padres, whatever, they're 85 and 77. And they're playing the Brewers in a 3-game series, and they're throwing Cease, King, Waldron, and they're all pitching like this at that time. The Padres will be favored to win that series.
Yes.
So just consider that. Now, again, I'm not saying it's some guarantee. You're playing on the road. I'm sure it would be a good series. But I'm telling you, they'd have a very good chance of winning that series, like a better than 50% chance of winning that series. The thing is, in order to get to that situation, you need a 4th and 5th starter. Now, Vasquez has filled that role as the number 4 starter and has pitched really well. But you're going to need a 5th starter. You can't be punting on a handful of games when you're in a dogfight to get in. So you need a viable 5th starter. You don't need Rich Hill. You need someone better than Rich Hill. And to your point, I don't think you need Garrett Crochet or Dylan Cease, but you need someone better than Rich Hill, and you don't need Dylan Cease. But you need someone that can give you 5+ innings 10 times and give you a chance to win.
And I'm cool. Hey, Jack Flaherty, great.
That would be great.
But how's that going to pan out come the postseason? I guess it's just whoever's your best 3 pitchers at the time you go with.
Yeah, probably.
And you more pitching the better, good pitching. That's a problem you worry about if it were to arise. But I will sit firmly that this team does not need a frontline ace because they have it. They have it with Dylan Cease. They have a guy in Michael King who has pitched beautifully this season. You have Matt Waldron. That's your 1, 2, 3. Randy Vasquez, your 4. And you need a 5th starter. I don't know what they're going to do. I know that Kevin Acee today reported that they are actually moving, I think, Michael King to Saturday.
Yep.
And tomorrow is the day where they're going to have to do something with the fifth starter. But hey, your bullpen's fully healthy, so you could go bullpen day if you wanted.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, what do you do there? Like, what's the preference you think? You call someone up just because to give you 4 innings, or do you start the game with, I don't even, Stephen Kolek and go 2 innings and then just go from there?
You could, or
It's
you
not the
go
worst thing in the world to have
Morejon.
a bullpen game because for the opponent, you can't really prepare for that. You don't scouting report someone that's going to throw to 6 batters.
Right.
So I think if you do it one time, it's fine. I think if you do it 8 times, you're asking for trouble. But I'm not opposed to them doing a bullpen game. To your point, they were off on Monday, and then they were off again today, the bullpen. So everyone's ready to go.
I think tomorrow might be a bullpen day for sure.
Or like Mike Miller saying here, maybe you start. I don't know. I mean, Morejon's kind of a back half guy, but yeah, you can go anywhere. Is Faulty Spark saying, hey, by the way, Flaherty makes 16 mil, which is a big number. It's a big number.
But he won't be paid $16 million this year because it's already halfway through the year. So he's probably going to get around like 6 or 5. Yeah.
Yep. 5 or 6. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting. We can get back to the conversation. Oh, dude, it's struggling. It's struggling. I need an ice pack. Guys, we've been telling you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Now is the time to play along. Use promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. You're getting a free special pick just by signing up and using promo code PODSWRAP. You're halfway to a winner. Plus, you're getting up to a $250 first-time deposit offer, which means if you deposit $20, they'll give you a 50% deposit match of $10. If you deposit $500, they'll give you $250, or anything in between. You could deposit $10, $50, $100, $500. You'll get a 50% deposit match. It's so simple and easy to play and win. We've been talking about it all season long. Jim's had a couple of $400 and $500 winners. You can win 1,000 times your money right now with their streaks contesting. You can win huge money with Underdog Fantasy. Pick'em's going on right now. You can play across all sports. Major League Baseball, WNBA, NFL, and college football are coming back. Jim, now is the time to play. Promo code PADSWRAP.
Download the Underdog Fantasy app right there. Scan the QR code, download the app, use our promo code PODSWRAP, start playing, start winning some money, and you're welcome.
So what's your plan for the big show today from 3 to 6? What are people going to hear? Are you going to have some Mike Schilt for viewers?
We're going to
have some Dylan Cease.
We're going to hear from Cease. We're going to talk about the game today. We're going to pretty much talk about everything we've talked about here. And yeah, it's going to be a 3-hour celebration of Dylan Cease for his no-hitter. Today's show is like, as you know, I mean,
it's the easiest show in the world.
It's literally, you turn the mic, you go. It's just, with these types of shows are the shows you love doing because they just easy. Go. Yeah, you can just talk about the game and talk about things, and so it's gonna be good.
Grit Squad, thank you, man. He says, sup, John and Jim. Thank you for all of the good content you provide. We appreciate that. Question, would you trade a couple of prospects for Tyler Anderson and Luis Garcia from the Angels? I would. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm not moving my best prospects, but I absolutely would move prospects for those two pitchers.
Yeah, those are good pitchers to have. I mean, it's about how can you fit players in here with the money restraints that you have. How can you get multiple guys in here for under the 12 million, right? That they have remaining.
Right.
And that's going to be the tough part. And how can you also acquire these players without giving up too much prospect capital? Because Ethan Salas and DeVries, those guys are essentially off limits if the reports are true. And you have a pretty thin system after that.
Mm-hmm.
So how is this going to work out when you want also multiple guys? You want probably 2 starters and a reliever. If you get a starter and a reliever, I'll still feel great about that.
Yep.
But it's not going to just be easy, because guess what?
Right.
There's 10 other teams all looking for the same thing with probably a better system than you have right now, because you're not going to include DeVries or Salas in any trade. So
I think there's teams that are just as motivated, if not more motivated, to make big moves than San Diego, obviously. Got teams that are 25 games over 500.
Yeah, Orioles, Phillies, Dodgers,
Yep.
Yankees need help badly.
Badly.
The Mets, Arizona, St. Louis, the Braves. Like, dude, there are a lot of teams looking for the same things that you are looking for. So it's not just like, oh yeah, Tyler Anderson. No one's talking about him, or
right. No,
no one's talking about X player. Like it's. I'm sure there's a lot of teams in on all of these guys, and that's where the problems come in. Of like, okay, there's 4 teams on this one guy, and that team has all these offers on the table. How can you make your offer stand above the other offers? And I don't know if the Padres have like enough in their system, or Preller's just gonna have to be willing to give away some guys that maybe he didn't want to give away.
I think it's well said. Jared, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you're here, you have to subscribe. Padres throw a no-hitter, just the second in franchise history. Please subscribe and please smash the like button. We really want 500 plus likes on this video live and on replay. Also, thank you for these super chats. We really appreciate them. And if you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks as well. Jared says, do we even need to do a bullpen game since we might have a new starter by Sunday? The answer is no. They don't need a bullpen game on Friday, but it sounds like they're electing to give Michael King one more day. By giving Michael King one more day, they need either a bullpen game or to call someone up.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because who's the other starter? Then Vasquez. Vasquez isn't on normal rest for Friday. He's on normal rest for Saturday.
Right. They have 4 starters on their team right now.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
So it's, yeah.
That's great when it works. It's been awesome.
Yep. And they can afford to do it because of all the off days they have.
Yep. That's to their advantage. Andrew, thanks, man. Appreciate you. He says, we need a starter, reliever, and an outfield bat. Would you agree with that? Do they need an outfield bat? In your opinion, here today, do they need an outfield bat?
Yes and no. I'll say officially no, because I'm guessing their thinking is Fernando Tatis Jr. is our outfield bat.
Yep.
It's not really like reassuring to have to rely on Fernando Tatis Jr., to be honest with you. But it's either we're going to rely on Tatis, or we're going to have to, once again, probably trade away pieces that we maybe don't want to trade away for an outfield bat. Again, they have played very good baseball without Fernando Tatis Jr. That 8-game stretch where they went 1-7, that was awful.
Yep.
But other than that, they went 12-3 without him. They've gone 5-0 here without him. So
what is that? Yeah, what's that record? You're right. So 12-3 is, and then what'd you say? 1-7.
12-3, 1-7. So that's 13-10.
13-10.
So they're 18-10 without.
That's
right?
Freaking good. Yeah.
I forget when officially he went on the IL. I don't know if
let's just say
started.
That.
Okay.
Roughly 18-10.
Okay. That's fine to me.
That's
Roughly
pretty good.
18.
That's a pretty good 30-game stretch.
Yeah, even with Bryce Johnson out there.
Yeah, that's a good 30-game stretch. Back to the supers. Thank you, Jared. He said we'd be more likely to make deals with the Rays since they likely won't trade in their division. Well, yeah, that is unlikely for Tampa to make trades with teams like what, the Yankees, you're saying, or the Red Sox? Sure. Just like it's unlikely the Padres make trades with someone like Arizona or LA. So, yeah, no question about that.
Right.
Let's see. This super just rolled in from Grit Squad. Thank you. Says start, bench, cut. Okay, the prime version of these pitchers, because Snell right now sucks. But if you're saying last year's Snell, this year's Cease, Darvish prime, want to give that a crack, Jim?
Hold on. Let me just look up something real quick, just so I don't look like an idiot.
Darvish has never won a Cy Young.
No, I know.
So second, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, pretty easy for me. I am starting in their prime, best seasons. I'm starting Dylan Cease. I'm benching Snell, and I'm benching Darvish. I'm cutting Snell.
Me too. Now, again, is there some recency in there with Snell? Like maybe I'd go Darvish. Maybe I'd go Darvish, Cease, and cut
I'd
Snell.
go Cease. I mean, I'm looking at their best seasons, John. Their best overall seasons. All right. Yu Darvish's best season in a full 162 game year was his second year in the big leagues. And he went 13-9 with a 2.83 ERA and 209 innings pitched, 277 strikeouts. He finished second in the Cy Young. That's his best season in the big leagues for a full 162 game year. All right.
Yeah.
Dylan Cease, his best season was, hold on. It was 2002. Just pull it up here. Yeah, his best year was 02. He went 14-8 with a 2.2 ERA, 184 innings pitched, 227 strikeouts. And then Snell last year was his best season.
He was very, I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah, last year he had a 2.25 ERA. Now in 2018, he had a 1.89 ERA, which is even better than all.
It's hard to imagine.
Those guys.
By the way, kind of breaking trade deadline news that is impactful around baseball is Mason Miller, the A's impressive closer, has been placed on the IL. So Mason Miller, who again, there had been some speculation and rumblings that they had asked for Jackson Merrill in a trade for Mason Miller. That was never happening in a million years, but they obviously could have gotten a lot for him. Hard thrower has been placed in the IL. Terrible time for the A's if they're going to move him days before the trade deadline. So I would think he would stay. And again, Mason Miller, one of the key high leverage pieces maybe available at the deadline, has been placed on the injured list for the Sacramento A's or whatever they are, Oakland A's.
Oakland, Vegas.
Before we get out of here, I want to remind our viewers about our wrap-up show merch, which we have available. You can click the link in the description down below. We have John and Jim merch for days like today when it's only Jim. And then we also have wrap-up show merch, including the hat I'm wearing right now. As you can see on screen, you can get it in gray. I think I'm actually wearing this one. You can get it in black. And we've got wrap-up show merch available for you. If you support the channel, support the show, you can wear the stuff to Petco Park or just hanging out, watching the Padres on Padres.tv. But we've got stuff for you. We do appreciate your support of the channel. Stuff for men and women, caps, T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, book bags, right? School's coming back, Jim. Don't you want to have a wrap-up show bag for the upcoming school year? I think you do.
Of course I do.
Click that link in the description down below. A number of you have. We appreciate that support. Click that link in the description down below.
All right, I got to go to
Jim,
work.
You got to go get ready for your big show coming up at 3 p.m.
Big show.
All right, so join us. And by join us, I mean join Jim today, 3 p.m., breaking down Dylan Cease tossing a no-hitter, just the second in franchise history. Please subscribe, guys. We do appreciate you. We are back tomorrow night. Padres will be in Baltimore. We'll be back for you tomorrow night at 9:30 Pacific. So subscribe. We'd love to get to 6,600 subscribers because of your help on this historic day for the Padres. Smash the like button for us. We're not kidding when we say we want 500+ likes here today. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks if you're here on replay. Thank you for those that become members by clicking the join button down below. Thank you to our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. Mova Globes. Use promo code PWS10. Get 10% off your officially licensed Padres Globe from Mova Globes. And again, use promo code PADSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. And get a 50% deposit match at Underdog Fantasy plus a free special pick. All right, we'll see you at 3 p.m. Dylan Cease has thrown a no-hitter. The Padres have won 5 straight. They're hot. They're hot right now. For Jim, I'm John. This has been the Wrap-Up Show.